And welcome back. And we've just been dealing with some of the technical difficulties with these being outside and this heat. Some of the equipment's bound to overheat, but it's now 3-0 Corndogs. It's Donovan Noble, as you saw as you re-entered the ball game. Colin Small scored after the base hit. Here comes the throw from the catcher, and is Noble safe? They got him. Correction, the score is 2-0, and that's what the score will be as we head to the bottom of the second inning with the Corndogs leading this ball game thus far. And you're watching the Corndogs on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the second inning, and if you're just joining us, we are, again, really sorry about what we're having to deal with this brutal heat going on through Chicago, as that's why our technology has been cutting in and out. Even yesterday's game against Southland, and everything just shut off all at once, and we couldn't come back. But we'll do a little recap as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Noble got the single when moved up the second pass ball, then scored on the Gavin Terry hit. Terry was thrown out. And then Colin Small hit a double right down the line with 2 outs in the top of the second. Here's the pitch. And there's a ground ball left side, and it's foul. And then Small scored on Donovan Noble's hit into right center to make it 2-0. So that's what your score is right now. The Corndogs are already up to 4 hits. There's just been 1 error on the American Giants thus far. The Corndogs only left 2 men on base. And that one is just down low to the hitter for the American Giants, Nate Gonda. Giants trailing by 2, trying to make a comeback here. Andrew Mile with Noel Ferry. Happy to be with you on this beautiful afternoon. Here's the pitch, and that's out. And it's 2-1. No, on this type of day, this is when I would like to break out the shorts and jump right into a pool, but here we are on south side of Chicago enjoying a baseball game instead.
Good thing there's a lake right by us.
Hit to the right, in foul territory. Doug Loden seems to have a play. Small's going to call him off, and he drops the ball. Colin Small had the angle, couldn't put the leather on it, and gone to a reach on an E4 to start the bottom of the second inning here. Just seems as though that Colin Small had the battle with the wind there and didn't make the play. We've seen a lot of major leaguers have that same problem in both ballparks.
Yeah, you can't, give him too much slack for that. That one's caught up in the wind. You're battling with your first baseman over who's really going to come down with it, and it was really at the last second that it came down to Small. But Small, a bit of a shaky glove to start off the season for him overall for the Corndogs.
Here's the pitch, and that's down low to Keegan O'Connor, and that's why he's here. Get more reps and opportunities before heading off to college baseball. Burke is set after looking over the runner on first, which is Nate Gonda, who reached on an error to start this inning. Here's the pitch, and that one's about the same spot as the first one. It's low and 2-0. The American Giants picked up 1 hit in the previous inning. They had runners on first and third with 2 outs before a strikeout of George Naha. And throw over the first base is not in time. We talked about James Burke's last start, which was that again the no-hitter, the first and only no-hitter in Corndogs history thus far. Here's the pitch, and that's ball 3. In that start, Burke went 5 innings. He struck out 5. Again, no hits. He only left 1 man on base. It was a walk to George Balicki, who ended up was put out on a 4-6 fielder's choice. The ball gets past Loden over at first base. Loden's got he has a good arm. He's going to race over back to first base, and I have to say it was probably a good decision by Nate Gond over at first base to not take off, as we saw Doug Loden pitch a few nights ago against this team, and he does throw the ball pretty hard, and you know that Doug was ready to unload on one and throw it to second base.
Yeah, Doug says he's got a fastball in the 90s, so I would have given it a slim chance to be able to make it to second.
And that's going to be ball 4 to Keegan O'Connor. And bases, and there would be runners on first and second as they reached board on errors and a walk. There's the second walk from the right-hander, James Burke, and Zach Leslie will now come up. Just excited to be back on the air. Yesterday we had to call it quits due to the sun, and it was about, I want to say, like 95 yesterday. But it was a humid 95, so you couldn't escape it. Not even if you're in the shade. Pitch, and that's a strike. Right down the middle to Zach Leslie, and 0-1. With no outs, runners on first and second. As Kevin Malater, the voice of the Vikings, set it all up, and then it all went out. And that's why there was no Corndog Vikings broadcast yesterday. That's off the foot. It'll be a foul ball, and 0-2. But then after the game ended, we had to drive on over to wherever we needed to go because the tornado warning that we hear in Chicago yesterday moved its way into Hammond where we were. And it didn't storm for too long, but no, we did not have luck at your house as we took safe passages in your basement.
Yeah, you know, I thought we were safe. The warning had moved into Hammond, and all was good, but we were sitting down ready to watch the NBA Finals, and the power went out in my house. So
yeah,
had to watch it off our phones in the darkness.
Had to get a little creative with it. I mean, in this season, we've already been pretty creative with some of our broadcasts. Burke trying to get creative here and get his first out. Still 0-2. Small holding on the run over at second. Here comes the pitch. And that is just off the outside portion. And the count is now 1-2. Middle of infield pinching in, trying to see if they can turn a double play. Here comes Burke. And there's that ground ball, left side. Schultz backhands it, goes to second, and Small catches it. He looks over at third to see if he would be able to get Gonda, but Gonda didn't get off far enough. That's a nice play by Tyler Schultz. He at least get one out on the fielder's choice. And it's 1 out now. O'Connor was the man that was picked off base over at second. Leslie will reach because of the play. And the American Giants are threatening to put up their first run on the board in this game. There's a runner 90 feet away for Mike Johnson. Johnson with all black bat watches the first one sink low. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners are at first and third. 2-0 Corndogs. Corndogs have scored 1 run in the last 2 half innings. And here comes the pitch. And that one's out, 2-0. Can you see the skyline over to our left beyond these trees? It was nice to drive into Chicago. Whenever I think of Chicago, I always think of the Cubs and the White Sox. Even some deep dish pizza, of course. This is a line drive in the right center. It drops in for a hit, and the American Giants are on the board. It's a 2-1 game. Nice piece of hitting from Johnson. He saw a fastball at the top of the zone, put the barrel on it, placed it right over the head of Colin Small. And that goes as an unearned run to Burke's line score because Gonda, who just crossed the plate, reached on the E4 to start this inning. 2-1 now, and we'll head back to the top of the order for the American Giants with Trey Walker, who lined out to left field in his last at-bat against Burke. It was Hansen's out and left tonight. Here comes the pitch, and this one's hit to the right. If Doug Loden gets underneath it, it should be an infield fly. Colin Small makes the play. Kind of reminds me of how this inning started. A pop-up to the right side that Loden gave a good look at, but because of this gusty wind that's coming in from right to left, it blew its way back into fair territory, and Colin Small had the better angle, called off Loden, and made the play, and that time with 2 hands instead of 1. Really securing it. That's a big second out. As the tying run still over at second base, Bollock's now up. He walked in his last at-bat, and the first pitch to him is up the ladder, 1-0. They get checked down, and Bollock did not go. 1-0, 2 outs, first and second. Corndogs up that 1 run now. Unearned run in the inning pitch, and it's a check swing, but Bollock gets a piece of it, and it's now 1-1. Bollock not happy with that one as he tried to hold up the swing on the baseball instead. Could have been worse, could have hit in fair territory, and it's 1-1. We are at the home of the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks for this afternoon game. First pitch was at 5:10. 3 runs right across the board through the first 2 innings. Here's the pitch, and this one's hit to left. Going out is Schultz. Hansen coming in. Hansen will glide and make the play for the 3rd out, but not before the American Giants get on the board. It's now 2-1 in favor of the Corndogs as we head on to the 3rd inning. And you're watching Corndogs Baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Top of the 3rd inning, Corndogs up 2-1, and Robin Salzadier with That Properties is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Whether you're purchasing a new home or selling the one you currently own, Robin specializes in obtaining the best price in Northwest Indiana. Call her today at 312-671-0034. 312-671-0034. And Athletico Physical Therapy is also a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. We treat you, not just your injury. Visit athletico.com to book your appointment today. That's athletico.com. Terry leads off. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI. Here's the pitch from Spencer, and that's a strike. Got the corner, and it's 0-1. We can finally get the defensive alignment of the American Giants in the outfield. Bollock, Walker, and O'Connor going from left to right. And on the infield, Gonzalez, Gazda, Naha, and Leslie will be 3rd, short, 2nd, and 1st. The pitch, and that one's in the dirt. 1-1. Aaron Barrera is the catcher, and Bobby Spencer is the pitcher. Both runs scored for the Corndogs are earned to Spencer thus far. Spencer's a lengthy right-hander. He goes into his windup, and he rocks and fires. Swing and a big miss from Gavin Terry. Tried to do some damage on that swing, and it's going to be 1-2. But we've seen it time and time again. This is where Terry specializes in, is choking up on that baseball bat, trying to get better control of the barrel, and see if he can hit one to that left side. Spencer shakes off the sign, shakes off another one, and Terry is going to call time. He's going to get it granted from Luigi Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, who'll be calling balls and strikes today. So we're reset before the 1-2 offering. They get the play, and here we go. Spencer gets his sign, and he wastes no time. He fires, and that's called strike 3. Terry doesn't like that one. Has a brief conversation with Gonzalez. They'll head off to the dugout for strike out number 4 for Spencer.
Terry was saying that's not over home plate. I could see what he was saying. He believed it was off more to the right, but
thought it was off by a little bit.
Always have discrepancies.
Yeah, you never know. Schultz is up now. Schultz struck out. He's looking at his last at-bat pitch, and that one is a strike. It was top of the zone, inside corner, 0-1. Schultz rocking the all-white cleats with some yellow Nike logo. That's the B&W colors, the school of Schultz. And that one is strike 2. That time it was the top of the zone, but the outside corner. So Spencer's working on top of the zone with the fastball, but he's going to change the corners every time. As they say, that pitching is a lot like real estate. It's all about location, location, location. 0-2. And that one's up. Waste pitch there from Spencer. He was ahead 0-2, so you're 4 to throw one out of the zone, and it's now 1-2. Might go to a breaking ball here. We'll see. Schultz, the 3 hitter. Finally get that trio at the top of the order again. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw Noble, Terry, and Schultz at the top of the order. And then consistently throughout the winning streak, it was these 3. Pitch, and that one's down, 2-2. And it was really those 3 that carried the Corndogs in that win against the Oilmen when they were down 7 runs going into the 8th inning and came back to win it. As all 3 of them get on base consistently, can drive the baseball into the gaps, and also have some good speed. After the breath, he throws the pitch. That one is in the dirt. Looked like a curveball. They're going to check and see if Schultz went, and he did not. After falling behind the count 0-2, Schultz has worked it full. It's now 3-2, 1 out. Bases are clear, and 2-1 Corndogs. Spencer puts a hand in the glove. He starts his windup, and here he comes. And it's fouled straight back right over our heads, but it hits the netting. We won't have to make a play on that one. We'll do the 3-2 again.
This is a good at-bat from Schultz here, going down 0-2. Now it's full count. Seen Schultz definitely go down a little bit on the hits as of recently, except for that home run the other day. Gets on base a lot, though, with a lot of walks.
A lot of hit by pitches, too. Yeah, that was about to say. And the payoff pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Schultz swings right over that fastball from Spencer as he goes to the outside corner again. That's now 5 strikeouts for Bobby Spencer. And there's 2 outs for Scott Hansen. Spencer's got that good fastball, and he's been locating it pretty well. We'll see what Scott Hansen can do with 2 outs. As he reached on an error in his last at-bat. It was that one he hit right in front of home plate, but it got thrown down the right field line and got moved up to second base where he was left stranded. Hansen swings at the first pitch, lifts it off to the right, but out of play as it clinks right on top of the Corndogs dugout as they occupy first base today, the American Giants. In the third base dugout, as they have some good shade coverage on that side, 0-1. Can't complain. We also have some good coverage today. This building is doing its job for us. 0-1 for Hansen. And that's strike 2. Sharp breaking ball. 0-2 now. That's the fun part about being behind home plate like we are today. You really see the movement in every pitch, what it is, what it's doing. And you kind of see what the hitters are doing. Maybe they're swinging on top of it. Maybe it's a little bit late. Got a good idea of what's going on in the game from this spot. 0-2. And it's fouled straight back. This one really came after us. It was a hot shot. Say hi to Doug Loden, who's walking right in front of us. Gives a thumbs up to the fans. That's the kind of thumbs up he gave when he got the corn dog the other day. except there couldn't be two because he had the corn dog in one hand. So it was one thumbs up. But you get the idea. He enjoyed earning that corn dog. Might be the best tasted corn dog he's ever had. We might have to ask him that. It's 0-2 still to Hansen. Spencer fires. And that's a great pitch. It's dropped by the catcher, but the catcher's going to have to throw to first. And for Bobby Spencer, he just struck out the side. He's up to 6, going to the bottom of the third with your score. The Corndogs 2 and the American Giants 1. You're watching Corndogs Baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Two and a half innings have come and gone, and the Corndogs lead 2-1 against the American Giants. And Backcourt Bar and Beverage Services can handle every type of event from venues to weddings to indoor and outdoor parties. Visit bcbarcatering.com and let us start planning the perfect event for you. That's bcbarcatering.com. Colonial Life is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Keep unexpecting. Life is anything but expected, including our approach to employee benefits. Visit coloniallife.com to learn more today. coloniallife.com. And there's a pitch from Burke. That one stayed above the strike zone for ball 1 to Jaden Gonzalez, who is 0 for 1, grounded out to second in his last at-bat on a really nice barehanded play from Colin Small over at second base today. Here's the pitch, and this is a chopper back to Burke. He has to go to his right. He gathers, he fires, and a perfect chest-high throw for Doug Loden. And that's the first out. Nice athletic play from Burke.
Yeah, I like the collection by Burke there. So often we see you got the ball in your glove and you turn to make the throw as fast as you can because you're not quite sure. But Jimmy collected himself and delivered a great throw to Doug, making sure that no error could be made on that play.
With a one-run ball game, don't want to start with an error. You're right. Pitch to Barrera. It's a ground ball left side. Noble's going to have to play it on a short hop. He backhands, he collects, he fires, and there's 2 outs. So on back-to-back pitches, there's been ground outs by the American Giants, and 2 great plays where the fielders had to backhand it, collect themselves, and deliver great throws to Doug Loden, who has not had to look like an ice cream man and scoop him off the ground. There's 2 outs.
We've seen a lot of different people play third for
Yes.
this Corndogs team. Donovan Noble's first time starting at third today. Usually we see Cal Curiel there a couple times. We've seen Scott Hansen, Danny Puplava.
Yeah, Puplava is the only player on the University of Chicago Medicine injury report for this game. That one is just off that corner to George Naha, 1-0. Hopefully be getting him back sometime soon. The slugger for the Corndogs. Here's the pitch, and that's a strike right down the middle. 1-1.
One thing I can say about Puplava is that he's always at the games. He's always at the home games.
Yes, every home game we've seen Puplava, as Noel said it. There's a swing and a miss, 1-2. He said not only does he have drip when he plays the game, but also when he's not playing the game. As I believe it was a teal tie-dyed shirt he wore the other day to put the fence back in left field for the Corndogs game against these American Giants. And here comes Burke with the 1-2, and it's fouled off to the right. And they'll work its way into that street. We'll do 1 and 2 again, the Naha. Where can you find a shirt like that? I actually kind of liked it. Looked like a nice summer shirt.
You know, actually, I know how to make shirts like that.
Really?
For a little bit, a couple summers ago, I had my own shirt tie-dyeing business. I
Really?
sold about 4 or 5 shirts.
So it was a quick business.
Yeah,
It didn't last too long.
Not too long-lived.
Swing and a miss. Burke goes back to reliable. That is the fastball. And he picks up his second strikeout. And he goes 1-2-3 against the American Giants. We'll work our way into the 4th inning with the Corndogs up 2-1. And when we come back, it's going to be Noel Ferry who has a call for you. You're watching the Corndogs baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back here. Lake County Corndogs taking on the Chicago American Giants in Chicago. Here's a friendly reminder that Crown Antique Mall is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. We offer a unique mix of antiques and collectibles. Visit crownantiquemall.net to view a list of our upcoming market dates. Also, Dining Solutions at Wicker Park is the answer to your catering needs. Whether you have 50 or 400 guests, we can accommodate any type of occasion. Call us today at 219-923-3830 and let us help customize your next special event. Also, Diversified Marketing Strategies is a full-service marketing agency that specializes in all form of media and advertising. Are you ready to start a project with DMS? Visit us at thinkdiversified.com. Andrew, this is a pretty strange game we're seeing here. Not too much life to be seen anywhere on the field, and I think that can really be attributed to the heat.
Yeah, a little bit of that, and also it just feels like it's a well-pitched game. Bobby Spencer's thrown some pretty mean fastballs by the Corndogs thus far, and James Burke's really settled in and got some big outs himself. We'll see if maybe there's a turnaround and we can see some offense, but so far it's been a quick game. We have to knock on wood.
Still Spencer on the mound for the Chicago American Giants. Doug Loden takes his first. Big swing and a miss. That's never going to stop for Doug. He's always looking to swing for the fences. Something to note is the 2 spots that he hit his home runs to in the previous game at home at Legacy Field. They were both in essentially the same spot, off to the right. And now if he were to do that here, he would have to get a little bit more height, as both of his home runs this past home game lacked a little bit of height. Just a little bit.
The second one did. The second one had some pretty good height. The first one probably just clanked right off the fence.
Here comes the 0-1. That's down in the dirt, ball 1. It's a lot to ask. There's a heat warning out right now in the city of Chicago. They advise people to stay indoors. Here comes the 1-1. Checked swing from Loden. That's up too high.
Well, the joke's on the city of Chicago. The Corndogs are always in the fryer, used to these extremely warm temperatures.
Well, they're used to the heat.
Yeah.
So hopefully while you're sitting inside in an air-conditioned room, you know, Andrew and I bravely face the heat out here. and take on the elements. Here comes the 2-1. That one's crushed into right. That'll go just foul. 2-2. Another huge swing from Loden, and he shows off the power there.
He drove that one. Just saying, he straightened it out.
That one bounced off the fence all the way to the right. Foul. Here comes the 2-2. Another big swing and a miss from Doug, and he goes down swinging.
That's now 4 straight strikeouts for the right-hander Bobby Spencer. He's 7 in this game, and he's been throwing miraculously for the American Giants. A little bit of change of tempo from the last time the Corndogs saw him. Not saw him, but saw the Giants when they scored 17 runs off of him and just clobbered the baseball all game long.
Yeah. Given up 3 hits so far, and other than that, he's been relatively perfect, and that's all where those runs came off of. So that's up high and outside, ball 1. Jake Ferry now at the plate. Comes the 1-0. Strike 1 called. Appeared to be in a pretty similar spot, but just clipped the top.
Yeah, this is a Corndogs team that relatively doesn't strike out a whole lot. So there's also a little bit of difference today than we're used to, as they've already struck out 7 times and 4 consecutively. Let's see if Ferry can change that up.
Strike 2 called. Not sure if fans are able to hear that, but we're sitting right by the L here in Chicago. Andrew, have you ever taken a ride on the L?
I think I did for the Chicago Cubs World Series parade back in 2016.
Spencer, here comes the 1-2. Strike 3 called. Added on to Spencer's total. That's 8 now. The Corndogs are lucky to have squeezed out 2 runs against Spencer and still be in the lead here, as he's pitching a great game.
Yeah, not only is that 8, but that's also 5 in a row. Might be the longest stretch of strikeouts I've seen this year.
Yeah. A couple times we've seen some guys strike out the side, but not too much more than that. Comes the first to Johnstone. That's down in the dirt, ball 1.
But Spencer, not only is he looking at that fastball, he's able to locate his breaking ball. Keeps going to that outside corner and getting the strike calls.
The 1-0. That one misses up high. Ball 2. Finally seeing a start to a hitter-friendly count here for the Corndogs. Catcher is the position that we see the most rotation in for the Corndogs, other than the pitcher, of course, as Sakamoto, Deal, and Johnstone all see pretty equal playing time. Here's the 2-0. That one, strike 1 called. Clip the outside, the strike zone.
Just sounds like baseball near the L train going by. It's a north sider per se. I'm used to this.
Makes it a little difficult to hear myself think. The 2-1, that's fouled off to the left.
And usually we'd park underneath the L train. So when we would walk into Wrigley Field from center field, we'd hear the L train go above us. So I think the first sound I ever heard at a Major League Baseball game was this L train, the same exact one. That was 16 years ago already, or actually pretty close to 17. What was your first MLB game?
That's pretty hard to remember. I'm sure at some point when I was younger, I went to a Cubs game. The 2-2, that one's hit into right, but that bounces off the arms of the first baseman, but able to get the out. That's a good collection there from Zach Leslie at first as he went to field it, and it bounced off his right shoulder, but able to get the third out and retire the Corndogs. We head to the bottom of the fourth. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, 2-1. Still the score here in Chicago. Lake County Corndogs on top of the Chicago American Giants. And here's a reminder that the Great Lakes Sport Hub is the official training facility of the Lake County Corndogs. They are not just another dome. At the bottom of the fourth, James Burke still on the mound for the Corndogs. Looking to find some similar success that Spencer is having for the American Giants here. He delivers his first to Gazda, and that's strike one called. It's all about the location, as Andrew was saying, and when we see the Corndogs start throwing too many balls, that's when we've seen a lot of the losses come, as that's when fouled straight back. Oh and 2. Burke on the day with 2 strikeouts, looking to collect his third here. That one catches. Strike 3 called.
What it was interesting at the end of that inning, and some of you, if you were still watching the game as we went off the air for a moment, it was Coach Justin Heisman talking to the home plate umpire and telling him, strike zone's a little bit bigger on one side. My guy, what you talking about, James Burke's not really getting much, but right there I thought that one was a tad bit off, but he got the call, which I thought it's evened out now.
That's strike 1 called there on Keegan O'Connor. And yeah, I agree, Andrew. I think that talk from Heisman might have done a little bit of magic, as we're seeing some more strikes being thrown here. That one's up high, ball 1.
That one was high.
Yeah, that's definitely high.
We don't spend too much time with the umpires, but we had to mention that note.
Strike 2 called. Caught the inside bottom corner.
And Justin Heisman, I mean, he's a Major League Baseball player, so he's probably had a few talks with umpires if the strike zone got too small. And maybe he wasn't getting the same call as another guy.
Here comes the 1-2. That's right down the middle. Strike 3 called. Burke, 2 strikeouts coming into this inning, collects 2 more.
Yeah, and it's 3 in a row now as he ended the bottom of the third with the strikeout swinging. So we've seen a lot more strikeouts this game, and Burke's really starting to settle in and start hitting the corners.
Once the Corndogs start finding those corners, pretty unstoppable. Here comes the first to Zach Leslie. That one's right down the middle once again. Strike one. And Burke is looking a little bit more confident there on the mound right now. Quick delivery. Here comes the 0-1. That one's crushed into center. Is that going to be caught by Terry? It is. That'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3, 2 strikeouts from Burke. And we will be back after this is the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to Ed Glancy Field here in Chicago, Illinois. 2-1 still the score here. Lake County Corndogs on top of the Chicago American Giants. I'm Noel Ferry with Andrew Mild, and here's a reminder that Horizon Bank is the proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. We provide online conveniences that support innovative solutions for your personal, commercial, and mortgage banking needs, as well as wealth and investment services. Visit horizonbank.com to learn more today. Also, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 697, is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. As one, we are limited, but as a group, we are strong. And we're going to need to see the Corndogs group together some more hits here in the top of the fifth, as that's what they've been able to do against Spencer today to get these runs. But since then, nothing. As that one's crushed into center by Nanfelt, and that one's going to stay in, but he goes for two. So that's off the back fence. And the throw will not be in time. Donovan Nanfelt, first pitch to start off this inning with immediate double.
You know, I've been really impressed with Donovan Nanfelt the last couple of weeks. I thought he got off to a little bit of a slow start, but since then, I'm telling you, this kid has got some great opposite field power. And you see how big he is. He's one of the bigger, stronger guys on this team. You think, oh, he's just going to be a guy that's going to try to pull the baseball every time. He necessarily doesn't really do that. If we looked at the spray charts, he really wears out right center field. You saw the first pitch on that outside corner. That's where Spencer's been working with it today. Nanfelt has been the DH, got to relax a little bit. Nobody's going to throw. Ambushed him and got a leadoff double. It was a great swing of the bat. Exquisite.
Colin Small up. Here's his first. He bunts, and that's a good bunt by Small, as there is no play there for either third base or first base. And Colin Small reaches and advances Donovan Nanfelt to third.
I don't know if the fans can hear, but there's a fan to our right. That's how you do it, and I have to agree. It's a great bunt. That's a great bunt by Colin Small.
Definitely how you do it. Put it in a infield Bermuda triangle between the pitcher, third baseman, and catcher. And Small, with that speed, it doesn't even really need to be that good of a bunt for him to reach.
Yeah, you know, with that bunt single, Colin Small was out 2 for 2 on the day. And not only was it a great bunt where you can get a hit, but also if they did have to make a play, they were going to have to make it at first, and Nanfelt would have gotten third anyway.
Back up to the top of the order.
Ooh,
Noble
hello.
has to back up from that one. That's ball one.
But
Spence.
you said it. They read you. I mean, actually, they can probably hear you really well today.
Yeah.
They said they got to string some hits together and score some runs, and so far so good. Leadoff double, a bunt single, and here's Noble at the top of the order, and he's 2 for 2.
Well, I liked the analysis of Nanfeld earlier. As that one's once again crushed into center. Nanfeld tags up, and here he comes. Doesn't have too much speed, but that'll easily score as that one was hit all the way back to the warning track by Noble. There's a sac fly for you. Corndogs on top, 3-1.
I love it right there. It was, once again, the Corndogs manufacturing a run. They've been able to do this time and time again. And when you have a big strike zone like you have with the umpire right now, you just want to get more runs across. And a bunt single, which either way would have gotten Anfield the third, and then a sac fly, and the Corndogs go up one more run. And that's great news as we're getting late in this game.
Score any way possible. And if you can put this ball in play at all, you can be sure that Colin Small is going to be able to run the base path really well. But as I was saying, the analysis of Nanfeld earlier was very in-depth by Andrew, but I went and had an interview with Nanfeld one day after the game, and I was ready for a pretty convoluted answer to his opposite side hitting, and I'll let you know what he said after this first pitch to Terry. Is that one once again played? Is that going to be playable for a double? No. But Terry out at first for the second out of the inning, but Colin Small advances to second.
Great diving play right there by the third baseman, Gonzalez. Good thing Small was on the move because I think they could have turned a double play. And now the Corndogs have an insurance run standing on second base.
Well, and that's a good non-greedy play there by the third baseman, as he saw Small was just a little bit too fast for that. And if you had tried to turn the double play, you most likely wouldn't have gotten a single out there. Now, instead, you've got a runner in scoring position and 2 outs with Tyler Schultz up for the Corndogs. But I was talking to Nanfeld, and he said, honestly, when I go up there, I don't really think too much. I just swing the bat. So there's a pass ball. Colin Small advances to third.
Yeah, it was. I remember this story. It's funny you say that with Yogi Berra, old catcher for the Yankees and manager for the Mets and Yankees. He was told when he was playing to think about this when he goes up, and I don't remember what it was. And he despised it because that's all he would do was think, and he went into this huge slump. So he decided one day he's going to go up there, he's not going to think, and he ended up having a big game. And I'll tell you what he said about it.
Comes the 1-0. That one's broken. Bat by Schultz popped up. Is that going to fall? Right in a Bermuda Triangle. It does fall. And Schultz, single, scores. Colin Small and the Corndogs are on top, 4-1.
I think it was the wind that played a big factor there on that hit for Schultz. It was a broken bat, as you said, and was able to get some life on it because of the wind. He pushed it out into shallow left center, and it dropped in. And the Corndogs pick up another run, pick it, and give Tyler Schultz an RBI.
Brings up Scott Hansen, runner on first, and Schultz. Corndogs have collected 2 runs here in this inning. Schultz, one right to the first base, and that's a great play by Leslie at first to end this half inning. That was an athletic play. Slid, backhanded the ball, able to get back and get him out at first yourself, but not before the Corndogs are able to grab 2 from the Chicago American Giants. We will be back in the bottom of the 5th. After this, this is the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Welcome back here. Lake County Corndogs were able to grab 2 last inning, putting them up on top 4-1 against the Chicago American Giants. Ivy Tech, Lake County, proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs, serves higher education that's built around you. Serving all of Lake County with locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, and Gary. Visit ivytech.edu/Lake County to sign up today. And there's a big swing by Michael Johnson for the Chicago American Giants.
Johnson had a really nice at-bat in his last one.
That one's outside, ball 1.
He had the runner on third base, and he singled into right center to get the run for the American Giants that stands right now.
1-1. Attempted check swing, but he goes.
I think they said he did
check
go.
it. He did not go there, so that'll be ball 2. That one's outside once again. 3-1 the count, I believe. Here it comes. That's outside. Now 3-1.
Yeah, there you go. Now we can confirm. I really like how quick Burke and Johnson are working together. You can really tell they're teammates at South Suburban. Just look how quick he works.
Here it comes. That one's foul. Hit off to the right. Is that going to be playable for Nanfelder? No, that one drops foul. That's Loden over at first, not Nanfeld. So used to seeing Nanfeld out there. They've got pretty similar builds, both bigger guys.
Big, stocky, strong guys that...
Typical first baseman.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this, Noel. If you happen to get yourself into a fight, which Corndog teammate would you want to take?
That's a great question. You know, James Burke on the mound is the tallest on the team, I believe. But in terms of a guy who looks pretty intimidating, I would have to go with Donovan Nanfeld. He's got the tattoos to go along with it,
Yeah, I
too.
think it's like it's a skull on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be intimidating. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to take Doug, and Doug's a good option, but I think Doug's just too friendly.
Yeah.
I think he would just talk to the opponent rather than, square up.
Not to say that Donovan isn't a super nice guy.
No. I'm just saying that's just how Doug is.
That brings up Trey Walker. Comes his first. That one's crushed into left. Back goes Hansen, and that's down up against the fence. Will that score? He's going. He will stay. And there's a quick double by Trey Walker. He does not send Michael Johnson home on that one.
Well, there's no outs, and that was a strong throw from Hansen from left field, but it was a great swing of the bat from Trey Walker. It was a fastball down and in. He put the barrel on it, and the way that this wind's blowing, it just kept taking the baseball over the head of Hansen, who gave it a good luck. But the American Giants are threatening. They're down 3 runs. They could make this a 1-run game once again.
Runners on second and third. Doug Loden had a quick chat with James Burke on the mound over from first. Here comes the first to Max Bullock. That's down in the dirt, ball 1.
We see right there, right after that pitch, Burke immediately started wiping his hand on the side of his pants, and it's hot. The sun's right on every player. Yeah, I wonder if maybe that ball slipped.
1-0. James slowing down a bit. That one catches just outside of the strike zone for strike 1. And the mixture of the dust and the dirt and potentially the sweat from your hands, that creates a uncomfortable situation for Burke throwing the ball potentially. I'm not out there. Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to have a rougher time, the pitcher having a hard time with the baseball. I don't know if it's going to be the pitcher or the hitters.
1-2. Here it comes. Another big swing and a miss. James Burke adds one to the collection.
Yeah, it's now 5 strikeouts for Burke, and it comes at a big time with runners on third and second. And he really likes that fastball in the outside corner. And Bollock swung right through it. Here we go. Need 2 more outs and try to keep this a 1-run game. Well, 3-run game. Don't let it get to 1 run.
Jaden Gonzalez up. 1 out. Runners on second and third. Corndogs on top 4-1. Here comes the first. Catches outside of the strike zone once again. That's great placement there from Burke.
I really like sitting behind home plate today because you really sound how that baseball comes in from Burke, and it makes a nice loud pop on John Stone's glove.
comes the 0-1. That one's hit right to Burke. He's going to runner stay at second and third. Throws over to Doug at first. Gets the second out of the inning.
That is a phenomenal play. Just textbook type of play by the pitcher Burke there. First thing he does, instead of just turning around and going to first base, he looks back the runner at third, make sure he doesn't take off for home, and then went over the first base. Nice, good throw to Doug Loden. So he did everything right, and he's got a big second out. Just need one more.
When the composure is so key when you've got the runners at second and third. That one's just down and outside for Aaron Barrera. This is the third time now we've seen a runner on third for Burke. We'll see if he can continue delivering. The 1-0. Too high. Ball 2.
It's hard to watch the game when there's this giant spider on the ledge. I mean, I know if you get bit by a spider in New York, you get superpowers. I don't know what happens if you get bit by a spider in Chicago.
Just gets sent to the hospital,
yeah.
I think. That one, good breaking ball there. Catches strike zone.
Maybe you just get an infection and a bump,
yeah.
and then it's off to the emergency room you go. No superpowers for you.
Yeah,
no multi-million-dollar movies.
The 2-1, big swing and a miss from Barrera. That was a full extension there.
Need one more strike.
Burke could potentially get out of this inning with no damage done with runners on second and third. The 2-2. Catches. Strike 3 call. Just caught the inside. Left him looking. Barrera doesn't like that one, but that'll send us to the top of the 6th inning. Corndogs on top, 4-1. Four to 1, your score here. Lake County Corndogs on top of the Chicago American Giants in Chicago, Illinois. I'm Noel Ferry, sending it off to Andrew Mild for your play-by-play.
All right, thanks, Noel. And as Noel said, we are in that top of the 6th inning as this game's going right by, and the Corndogs leading 4-1. And Kuziak Construction is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Is your complete home improvement expert from home remodeling, repairs, and roofing. We do it right. Contact us today at 219-923-3007. That's 219-923-3007. And attorney David Glash represents clients that have cases involving personal injury, wrongful death, auto accidents, medical malpractice, and more. Visit dgladishlaw.com to learn more. That's dgladishlaw.com. And Macron is the official jersey partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Work hard, play harder. And Noel, when the law offices of David Gladish came to Legacy Fields, I want to say that was in either Game 1 or Game 2 against the Oilmen. And actually, it might have been the no-hitter against Southland. They were passing out those fans that you have to hold by the bottom and kind of have to do it manually. I could go for one of those right now.
Yeah, definitely. We're sitting out here in what I believe to be 97-degree heat. Luckily, we are in the shade. This would be absolutely miserable. Not sure if we'd be able to keep this broadcast going with the equipment if we were in the shade, if we were not in the shade.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's a hot one out here.
Yeah, the tool shed that's used by these fields at Illinois Tech, where we're at today, at Glancy Field, they have it to our left. It's like right behind home plate. It looked like it used to be a press box, but no longer, as that's where they put their bases and their extension cords, and about everything you can think of that you need to manicure a baseball field. But the sun is to our left, giving us full shade, and Loden, who's at the plate, takes one just off the mark for ball one. So we're not going to be working on our tans today, and I think it's okay.
I'm completely fine with that.
We'll be fine. We don't need to work on them just yet, anyway. Here's the pitch from Spencer, and that almost gets loaded and hits the leg of the home plate umpire. It's now 2-0. American Giants picked up the win yesterday against the Crestwood Panthers 6-3. Oilman won 7-3 against Joliet, and Southland, last time I checked, were playing the Panthers. They were up 6-1, and the Oilman and the Generals would do battle again today. That game will start at 7:10, so in about half an hour, those two teams will play. Corndogs will be playing the Oilmen to close out their week on Thursday and Friday. Here's the pitch, and that one is up and in tight, 3-1 to Loden. With 3-0 to Loden.
If I had to take a guess, I think that this is going to be a big hack here from Loden.
Especially if it's across the strike zone. Loden's going to try and hit that brick building that's right across the street. Just the way that he is when he comes to the plate. Pitch from Spencer, and that is a strike. So it's now 3-1 to Loden. 4-1's the score. Corndogs up. In the sixth inning, and I would say even with this shade, it's hot. I can imagine what it'd be like to be on the mound today or playing the field. Good thing that none of these teams wear black uniforms. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Oof. A little bit of breeze from Loden's swing there as he puts everything he has to it. 3-2 to Loden, who's wearing his Lake Central helmet. So the same abbreviation for the Corndogs, LC and LC for the high school and for the Corndogs. So that kind of works out. The only difference is it has the Native American feathers coming out the back. So that doesn't really apply to Corndogs in any way, but still the same colors, blue. Payoff pitch. And ball 4 to Loden. A trot over to first base. He's on board for the second time today, as he only has one official at-bat where he struck out swinging. He also hit by a pitch. So the Corndogs lead off the sixth frame with a free pass, and here comes Jake Ferry. We'll say it was an eventful drive lead out here, too. We haven't never been to Ed Glancy Field. I don't know how many U-turns we had to make. That one's out on the outside corner for strike one with no outs. We got, I think, to the main campus of Illinois Tech. That's a little bit, like about 3 or 5 minutes down the road. And Noah goes, that looks like the address that they gave us. And I look at it, and there's weed sprouting, and the grass was high. And I'm like, no, I don't think that there's anyone there. This does not look like there's going to be a game played there today or anytime soon. That's out 1-1. And then he looked up Ed Glancy Field, took us 3 more minutes down the road, and once we saw the boys in blue, we knew that we were home. We finally made it from Hammond, Indiana, the native home of Noel Ferry, and yours truly, who's actually born in Hammond all the way back in '99. Here's the pitch, and that is out 2-1. And that spider's working its way down the wood. I know Noel's not happy to see that spider again as it climbed up his leg earlier in the broadcast.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on it.
Keep an eye on him and the game at the same time. I think this is what they call broadcasters multitasking. You've been multitasking every game, calling it and scoring it. You pitch the Ferry, and that one is over the strike zone. 3-1 the Ferry. Corndogs trying to tack on a couple more runs here, build up their lead, and try to get a wider cushion and pick up their first road win since they were in Carroll Streams about maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, where they swept a doubleheader against the Generals. That's strike 2. Good pitch from Spencer. He bounces back, runs the count up full for the second straight hitter in this inning. Loden walked on a high pitch. Oh, look, there's a nice little greeting from Southwest Airlines over our heads. Now I really feel like we're in New York, because if you're at Citi Field where the Mets play, you'll always get some airplanes going out in center field wall. A pitch, and it's fouled off by Ferry. He just sends the barrel at it. Wants to see another one. We'll do 3-2. Have you ever rode on an airplane before, Noel?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did a lot of traveling for speech and debate in high school. Something that not a lot of people know about. It's really one of those things where you really only know if you were a part of it. But Yeah, speech and debate across the country, it sends you everywhere. It's pretty competitive.
Are you okay with airplanes? No fear? You don't get nauseous or anything?
No, I'm pretty good even with the turbulence.
3-2. Ferry fouls it off again. Channeling his inner BGs and staying alive. We'll do the payoff pitch one more time to Ferry.
What about you? Do you get a little anxiety?
No. The only time I'm not like real sure about airplanes is when they land. I'm not the huge fan of like the sun stops because you always like jolt forward because of the G-force, and then you come back. Other than that, like the takeoff is fun. When you get up in the air, it's really fun. Ears are popping the whole time, especially when you're yawning, because your airplane's taking off at 6:30 in the morning, so you're seeing the sunrise. It's always a good time. Took I want to say it was a 4.5-hour flight to San Diego right before the season started to catch Cubs and Padres. Another look over at first base. No tag there. And there's airplane number 2 going over our heads. Does that make it a double play?
I don't know about that.
I wish we could like angle. Actually, the viewers at home may have been able to see that one. Then we're right over the building in the right center. Count still 3-2. Long at bat from Ferry. Here comes Spencer. And once again, Jake Ferry plays the spoiler. Just keeps fighting them off. We'll do 3-2 again. And now looking into the dugout, wondering if maybe that's the day for Burke, as he had his tennis shoes in hand. Might be taking the cleats off early, and the Corndogs might be going to a bullpen. And if that's the case, it was a great pitch game from James Burke. We'll find out.
Only 1 run scored.
And it was an unearned run.
Yes.
Because it was from the error to start off that inning. Doug Loden got his jersey dirty over at first base. He's ready to take off if need be. Spencer long pause the pitch. And that's a ground ball right side. It's going to be a tough play. They're going to play off a barehand play over the first, and they got him. Wow. What a play by George Naha over at second as he had to barehand that ball and try to beat a speedy Jake Ferry over at first base, and he does. Doug Loden will move to second, so that's at least some good news after the phenomenal play from Naha. So there's now 1 out. Runner in scoring position for Nicholas Johnstone. And it's part of the order where it's 3 straight lefties, Loden, Ferry, and Johnstone. And then Donovan Nanfelt is on deck, and he's a righty. No switch hitters for the Corndogs in their lineup. Here's the pitch to Johnstone 1-0. I say Sakamoto because he's walking to our right. I was thinking catcher, and Johnstone's the catcher today, Sakamoto. I believe he was the catcher yesterday's affair, and he was. Getting the day off. Enjoying some short sleeves and shorts. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the typical outfit you're going to see on a 97-degree day in Chicago. Here's a pitch, and that one is just out. 2-0 to Johnstone, who on this day is 0 for 2 with a strikeout swinging and a 3 unassisted on that really nice backhanded play from Leslie over at first. It's one where he slid, backhanded it, raced over to first, and got the play. Spencer must have forgotten the sign of what had happened. He stepped off, said, "My bad," universal sign, going to the chest. And now he's got the sign. We're ready to go now. There's the pause, the deep breath, the pitch. And Johnstone drives this one into center field, going back as Walker. He's racing. It drops down into the deepest part of the yard. Here comes Doug Loden on the score. Johnstone will hold up at second. The throw gets past the second baseman, but Gazda was there to pick it up. And that's an RBI double from Johnstone. A great swing of the bat from the Australian.
Yeah, Loden didn't have to trot too hard on that one. He was smiling as he was rounding third. That was a great hit ball there, but that's a super deep center field out there. Deeper than some of the other stadiums we play in the Northern League.
Well, at Legacy Field, it's only about 390, I believe. But not only is it deep, but the way that the fence is put together, right center and left center come together, and it looks like there's like a gate door there.
Yes.
So it opens up, so then the pole kind of cuts out a little bit. So there's like a little square going out there, and that's where Johnson really hit the ball. And I think if we're at any other ballpark today, I think Johnson may have hit a home run.
Yeah.
There's this Twitter page for the MLB where it says, would it dong? So it kind of asks, like, would it go for a home run? And they'll take in the height of the wall, the exit velocity, the launch angle, and it'll say how hard it was hit and how far it went and how many home runs it would be at. So there's 30 ballparks in the Major League Baseball for the 30 teams, of course. Pitch to Nanfelt is on the outside corner for a strike. So sometimes the Yankees might hit a home run that just got over the wall. So it's a home run at Yankee Stadium, but it might be a home run maybe one other ballpark. So say 2 out of 30. But if it's a clean shot that goes like 450 to left field, there's a good chance that it would be a home run in all 30. That one is down low to Nanfelt for the count to be 1-1.
And that's a big gripe that a lot of people have. A couple times on that page they posted that it only would have gone for the Yankees in their home stadium, and that's caused a decent amount of people to create some backlash and say that needs to be changed.
That one's a strike. Good slider. 1-2 to Nanfelt. Yeah, when it does become a home run, that'd only be 1 out of 30. They call it a unicorn. That's what they call it. If it's all 30, they'll say there's no doubt about that one. It would have been a home run in all 30 ballparks. And sometimes it could be a little bit different because maybe the wind's blowing in from right field in Fenway that day, but the wind's blowing out at Wrigley, and it's maybe it hit the ball harder, had a better launch angle, but didn't get the environment to play a factor. Here's the pitch, and Nanfelt fouls one off to the right. And I thought what you were going to say, Noel, is that some fans have a discrepancy about how so many ballparks are different dimensions, and it's not consistent enough. So say like a player like Anthony Rizzo had that 3 home run game against, I want to say it was Baltimore he did that against. And only 2 of them would have been home runs, and well, actually only one of them was a home run in more than 6 to 7 ballparks, which I'm not going to take it away from Rizzo. 3 home runs is 3 home runs against MLB pitching. Here's a pitch to Nanfelt, and that's just low. It was across the plate, but low. 2-2. But baseball is the only sport where every field is different. Football, it's 100 yards from goal line to goal line. I know it's more than that because of the back of the end zone. It's like another 7 yards, I think. So maybe like 114 from back of the end zone to the other back of the end zone. Pitch. Swing and a miss, and actually told us 130. Okay. One of the fans that hold our conversation is actually 130. So I didn't know that, so I'm going to know that. So Nanfelt's down swinging, and that's the 9th strikeout for Bobby Spencer for 2 outs. But then basketball, I'm not really sure what the dimensions are, but they're all the same, basketball. Baseball, it's different. So I remember with Castellanos when he was with the Tigers, he wasn't really hitting a whole lot of home runs because it's 420 in the center field there. And he goes to Wrigley, and then he had one of the best months that you never remember. And that late pennant push for the Northsiders if they acquired him. So I thought maybe you're going to that argument because Johnstone drove that to center, and maybe that was a home run in 5 or 6 ballparks in the Northern League, but just happened to be at the one where it wasn't. Doubles aren't bad either.
No. Well, and one of the few examples of differences in stadiums that we see in the NFL is specifically Hard Rock Stadium for the Miami Dolphins in Miami, Florida. It is specifically built so that the home team during game time, whether that be in midday or at 3 o'clock, is always in the shade in the stadium.
Really?
And the away team is always in the sun. No matter what, they will be in the sun. They will not see any shade whatsoever.
They always said dolphins were one of the smarter mammals. Here's the pitch. This one's hit to the right, and right there is Keegan O'Connor, who will pocket that baseball and end the inning. But the Corndogs pick up one more run. After a nice double from Nicholas Johnstone, we go to the middle of the 6th inning with the Corndogs up 4 runs. As you're watching Corndogs baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, and there's going to be a pitching change. And with every pitching change this season, Noel, they're all brought to you by IBEW Local 697, proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. And Noel's so used to that one, he actually mouthed it with me without actually reading it, because there have been so many pitching changes this year. And again, every pitching change is brought to you by IBEW Local 697. And they are a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. And Misprint is also the official printing partner of the Lake County Corndogs. We specialize in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Big or small, we do it all. Visit misprintindiana.com to learn more about our services. As you have to play a little official scorer there, as they asked what inning we are in, and we did confirm. Bottom of the 6th inning. Thomas now on the mound, the lefty from Munster, Indiana. Here's his pitch, and it's a swing and a miss from George Naha. As it looked like that had a little bit of a wrinkle to it. I wonder if maybe that was a two-seam fastball or a changeup, but it's nothing in one.
Yeah, Thomas is very good at getting guys to swing at his pitches.
He uses a lot of swing and misses. Here's the pitch. That's not a swing and a miss. That's a pop-up to the left side. Schultz battling with the wind. He backtracks. He's in the shallow grass, and he hauls in that one. He makes a nice play, and there's one out. So it wasn't a swing and a miss, but you'll take the weak contact on the infield. And I may have just sent out my favorite tweet of the season, Noel, as you got to see it. Nicholas Johnstone, or some of the players that we've noticed that call him the Australian. So I put the Australian, Nicholas Johnstone, hits an RBI double. The Corndogs are up 5-1. And it's a kangaroo and the shape of Australia, the country, with the Australian flag. And there's ball down low, 1-0 to Gazda.
You know, Andrew, I think you missed an opportunity to say that he hit that one out back.
Oh, I did. Now I'm mad at myself. Thanks for that, Noel. I didn't even think about that. Here's a pitch. That's off the end of the bat. The cue shot, and it's foul. 1-1. You did do a really good Australian accent, as some of my papers have been gobbled up by the wind. This is truly the Windy City. Thank you. And one of the papers is actually stuck to the back of the netting, kind of just hanging out. I think that was a basketball homework that I had to do during the school year this year for Butler. I don't know how it ended up in my book. There's the pitch, and that one's out. Breaking ball slipped out of the hand of Thomas. And it's 2-1 with one out. I have to tell a pretty good story about the wind and papers. The pitch, and that's out of play. Just got the top of the netting, so it stayed into the ballpark, 2-2. It was a game in Schaumburg, Illinois, Schaumburg Boomers and the Windy City Thunderbolts. And we were upstairs with the window wide open getting ready for the game. And my partner, Connor Onion, had the paper in hand, and he just dropped it enough for the wind to take it. And you just think maybe it would just fall gently to the ground, or maybe the wind would take it for a little bit and it'd find its way into the infield. That's up and away, 3-2. And once again, Thomas goes right to his left hand as that one slipped. It's a full count to Gazda. And no joke, Noel, that paper got blown from behind home plate, and you're good like 40, 50 feet away, all the way beyond the center field wall. That thing traveled about 450 feet just because of the wind that day, going straight out. The pitch, and it's off the end of the bat to the right side. Colin Small jumps. He won't make the play. It's a base hit to right field. Gazda picked that one off the ground. It was a little low. Might have been able to get ball 4, but Gazda says, I want to get a hit, and he delivers, going the opposite way. Nice in-and-out swing. Keegan O'Connor will now come up with a runner on first. Corndogs are up 5-1, as you see Noel Ferry trying to now get the paper. He's going to wait now. I think he just realized he was going to be on camera for that, so he's going to retreat back to the booth. 1-0. He said it wasn't a great idea. Here's the pitch. And that one is served off to the left, and out of play, 1-1. Oh, you got it that time. You got it that time. There we go. The play of the game goes to Noel Ferry for getting my old basketball homework that's no longer in use. Congratulations, Noel.
Thank you.
Here's the pitch. That's up the ladder, and it's a 2-0 count to O'Connor.
2-1.
2-1. Correction. 2-1. No scoreboard here. I think there's just two teams in the league that actually use a scoreboard: the Corndogs and the Oilmen. But the Oilmen, it's funny because their pitch velocity is also serving as their pitch count for now. But there's always a 1 right in front of every pitch count. So some guys are throwing 153 miles per hour apparently. There's a strike called outside corner, 2-2 in this lefty on lefty matchup. Right, there's a runner on first. Corndogs trying to get it. Ending double play here. You see if they get it. Here's the pitch. And that was up and in. And Thomas is just having a hard time controlling that breaking ball. It just seems as though every time he goes to it, he immediately looks at his left hand, trying to see where it's slipping. Pitch. Ball 4. Oh, no, strike 3 called. Couldn't hear him. It was strike 3 called. The first strikeout for Zach Leslie. The wind's starting to pick up now that the sun is setting. Still have some good sun coverage right now. There's a strike outside corner. I'd say if you live in one of these apartments that are across the street, you have a great view of this baseball game. Kind of reminds me of what they do in San Diego. The pitch, and that's going to clip Leslie on his lead elbow. He'll get on board with a hit by pitch. And now the American Giants have 2 runners on base, first and second, for their 9-hitter, Mike Johnson, who on the day is 1 for 1 with a walk and an RBI single. He has a lone RBI on the day for these American Giants. But if you remember, during that 2020 season, the only way you could actually watch a baseball game live was if maybe, one, you were in the St. Louis Arch, and you could kind of see the game from up there, because Busch Stadium is right there, home of the Cardinals. There's a strike. And if you stayed in one of those apartments for the San Diego Padres, and when they were playing those playoff games in San Diego without the Padres, they were able to watch those games from way above because it just peeks right over into Petco. And that's a foul ball off of Nicholas Johnstone and Luigi Gonzalez, Luigi Guerrero, the home plate umpire. And 2-2 as Guerrero shakes it off. Seems to be okay. Counts evened out at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I've always wanted to watch a game from the Wrigley rooftops one time. Those always seem really cool. They have a buffet there, apparently, and I'm all about buffets. 2-2. That's a slider. That's in the dirt. 3-2. I'm trying to think if there's any other ballparks that have that where you could watch a game from somewhere else than actually in the stadium. Payoff pitch. And that was strike 3 called. Strike 3 called. Johnson got out of the way. The slider danced right in, clipped the inside corner, and Jake Thomas able to strike out 2 hitters and strand a pair of runners. We go to the 7th inning. Corndogs still holding on to that 4-run lead. As this is Corndogs Baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Top of the 7th, almost stretch time here from Chicago. Maybe we'll do our own rendition of Harry Carey since we are in Chicago today, but on the south side, so I don't know how that would go. He actually was a broadcaster for the White Sox, so we may be able to get away with it. But the Corndogs up 5-1. And as we head into this inning, Off Square Brewing is the official brewing partner of the Lake County Corndogs. At Off Square Brewing, we strive to be just that, off square. We think and brew outside the box. And we didn't get to do a pregame show today, so we'll do our Off Square Brewing stat of the game. And our stat of the game is going to go to the right-hander James Burke, who went 5 innings, allowed just 3 hits, 1 run, which was unearned. He walked 3, but he settled in, and he struck out 6 today. So another nice quality start from the right-hander who called it a day after the 5th inning. And Thomas came in and struck out a pair, stranded a pair of runners, and the Corndogs have a 4-run cushion getting late into this game as we have 3 innings to go. Plumbers Local 210 is a proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. We strive to provide and maintain education of apprentices and upgrading of journeymen in the plumbing industry. Here's the new pitcher, Marty Boyle. Here it comes. And that's down low, 1-0. And Noel, guess what? With every pitching change this season, they're brought to you by IBEW Local 697. Proud partner of
The Lake County Corndogs. I think I'm going to be hearing that one in my sleep for years to come.
Here comes the pitch to Noble. And Noble gets underneath this one, skies it into center field. Walker coming in, battling with the wind, and he will make that play. Nice and secure. And Boyle's day starts off with a fly out to center as Noble put a really good swing on that ball, but just got underneath it. And if he was a couple more inches up, it may have drove that one to the gap. We could have started with a double, but the Corndogs are up 5-1. Terry's now up. Lefty on lefty matchup. Boyle goes into his windup. He pitches, and he misses for 1-0 to Terry, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He does also have one of the RBIs. He drove in Donovan Noble. Only took 2 hitters for the Corndogs to get on the board today. And here comes Boyle, southpaw. And Terry takes a good cut. Fell it straight back, 1-1. And you'd have to say in the Summer League, this is a nice opportunity for Terry. Because lefty on lefty matchup, you don't really would get that during a regular season in college, because usually you'll see more righties, and if they do go to the lefties, usually they face one guy and be done. And there's a strike, 1-2. And if the coach does know that a lefty pitcher is going to pitch that day, usually they'll switch out the lineup to more right-handed hitters. And if there is a lefty in there, it's usually because they're a defensive specialist. So this is a good time to work on this lefty-on-lefty approach, as lefty pitchers have always had the upper hand on these hitters. 1-2. Here's the pitch. And that one is a little high, just over that strike zone. And it's now 2-2. As Gavin Terry tries to pick up his second hit. 14 stolen bases on the year. He's the only player in double digits thus far this season. He crosses that threshold against the Oilmen. And there's the one that skips in. And it's a full count to Terry. Be interesting to see what happens once Terry gets on base, as the Corndogs at this point of the game are playing for insurance runs and trying to win their first road game for quite some time. And if that's the case, the Corndogs will be 3-0 in Illinois. They had 2 wins in Carroll Streams, just west of Joliet. They played the Generals at Wheaton College. Pitch, and it's shot back up to the center field, and that's a base hit. It drops down. Great approach from Gavin Terry. He chokes up on that bat. Once the 2 strikes get on him, he chokes up, and then he goes right back up the middle. That was a beautiful stroke from Terry, and that's why he has one of the best batting average in this league.
It might be the best batting average in the league. I haven't checked it in.
I want to say it is due to qualifying circumstances.
Yeah, for a while we saw some people like Austin Ridgway on the Corndogs be higher up than Terry. But, Terry is one of the best hitters in the league, that's for sure.
One of the best contact hitters the Corndogs have. Here's Tyler Schultz. Here's the pitch. And Boyle misses just below. And 1 ball, no strikes to Schultz. As Schultz is 1 for 3, as he singled in his last at-bat and picked up an RBI, driving in Colin Small. As Small is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored today. Terry's over at first. Here's a pitch from Boyle. And that's a called strike. The throw over the first, and it's blocked by Leslie at first base, and it looked like it hit him at the knee or the shin as he waves off his dugout, saying he's fine. Just wanted to make sure that ball didn't go down the right field line, and started to look like a catcher over there. I don't know if that was his intention, but it got the job done. He might have a nice bruise to show tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a good block there, but it's never fun to take a baseball anywhere when you don't have any gear on whatsoever.
If that was a soccer ball, I bet actually probably some really good form in keeping the ball in front of you. Pitch to Schultz is a ground ball, left side. It's a chopper. It gets through into left field. Not the hardest hit ball from Schultz, but it will go down as a base hit. And now the Corndogs have something cooking with back-to-back hits after they fly out from Noble. Terry singled in the center, and Schultz hits a bleeder through the left side. And Schultz and Terry are now 2 for 4, make them 4 for 8 on the day.
Yeah, looking to tack on a couple more insurance runs here, but Tomets looked pretty good, so
he did.
Not too much concern there as of yet.
He did throw a nice slider at the end that bottom of the 6th, and there's a called strike, the Hansen. The Corndogs have a lot of hits today. Spencer had a great game, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. He allowed 5 runs, all earned for 6 innings, but he allowed 9 hits. So with 2 hits against Boyle, the Corndogs are up to 11 on the day. Here comes the 0-1. There's a strike. Outside corner, nothing in 2. Hansen didn't like the call. Now he's going to have to protect and try to get his way on base now. Have to protect and battle for the Corndogs. If he hits one into left center, Trey Walker's shading towards right. Corndogs would most likely score a run. There's a lot of green grass in the left center. Pause after Marty Boyle didn't like what signs he was getting from Aaron Barrera, who's behind the plate today, the new battery mates for the American Giants. And now Hansen will call time. A little bit of cat and mouse going on in the game right now. Or for our sake, a little bit of Nolan the Spider. You're going to take him home with you? Make him a nice pet pitch, and that's hit into center field. Walker makes the play. Everywhere retreats to their original base, and it was a good swing by Hansen. It's just that Walker had played him perfectly. 2 are now retired for the Corndogs.
Yeah, that was a really well-executed mini shift there from the Chicago American Giants as it was hit right to him.
I'd have to say the one thing I had to get adjusted to at your house yesterday, Noel, was your dove. You guys say that's a sound that you're used to. I thought maybe it was one of the dogs howling because of the sirens going on.
Yeah, frankly, I just don't even hear it anymore. With the morning doves, they never stop making their call. It's so much to the point where I truly don't hear it.
Yeah, you guys were like, what are you talking about? I said, that noise. Pitch to Loden. Loden. Again, he's never cheated at the plate. There's nothing in 1 as he takes a huge hack. Came up empty, nothing in 1. Never had a pet bird. I had numerous dogs. That a bulldog, a Pomeranian, the American Eskimo.
What was that like, an American Eskimo?
0-1, lefty on lefty, pitch. And that's down in the dirt, 1-1. Can you say that question again?
What was it like having an American Eskimo?
Oh, she was great. That was actually my first dog. Her name was Alaska. And, yeah, she lived to be about, I want to say she was like 16. She lived a long life. Now I have a mini golden doodle at home named Coda Bear. The 1-1. And that's ball 2. 2-1. I want to say he's about 3 months old now. He's been fun. He's been interesting. His favorite toy right now is a San Diego Padres blanket. You throw it on him and say, bye-bye, Coda, and he immediately jumps up and rips off the blanket and starts running around. Well, he's a little ball of energy.
2 of the most friendly dog breeds there are.
And there's a swing and a miss from Loden. Reach out for the slider. 2-2 now. Now Loden's going to take his time. Got to meet your two dogs yesterday, too. They seem very friendly. Didn't seem like they have any problem with people.
No, they're a little timid at first, but once they warm up, they're nothing too scary. Bass and a bit of a mix, a potential Italian Greyhound Terrier, but more of a mutt.
Strike 3 called. Doug Loden watched that one go right by. It hit the outside corner, and after getting runners on first and second with one out, the Corndogs do not score. And we'll head to the American Giants half of this 7th inning with the Corndogs still leading it 5-1. And you're watching Corndogs baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. The Windy City really turning into the Windy City right now as we've had some gust of winds coming from behind our backs into the field of play. And it's Angel Island with Knoll Ferry as we're enjoying this beautiful afternoon as starting to get some shade now on the field as the sun is setting to our left. And Purdue Federal Credit Union is the official credit union of the Lake County Corndogs. Purdue Federal Credit Union in Indiana offers valuable banking solutions, including checking accounts, savings accounts, mortgages, ball one, credit cards, business solutions, student banking, and much more. Visit PurdueFed.com to learn more today. Thomas coming in for his second inning of work. He fires, and it's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Did not have to check down the first base as Walker did go all the way. 1-1, and Walker has hit two baseballs extremely hard today. The line out to left field in the first, and then he was able to burn Hansen with a double off the wall, and he fouls this one right back to us, right into the netting, and it's going to be a 1-2 count to Walker. But that double was one of the hardest hit balls we've seen from the American Giants through 2 games thus far this season. They did have some loud doubles in the game at Legacy Field. And here comes Tomitz, and that's high. Walker bends out of the way. 2-2. Now even some of the Seagulls are starting to find their way into the game. Now it's starting to really feel like we're in Chicago. Pitch. And that one is down and away from Walker. And Walker, who's put up a lot of good ABs today, has worked it full against Tomitz. Tomitz struck out a pair in the 6th inning. Might pick up another one here. 3-2. This one's hit straight back over our heads. Won't worry about this making a play by us. 3-2 now.
If I really wanted to, I could have made a play on that one.
Yeah, I think you should have.
I missed the opportunity.
You did. You should have brought the glove to the game. Then we've never been to this field, so we weren't quite sure if we needed to bring one. We should have. 3-2 again, and it's ball 4. Fastball sails up and away from Trey Walker. He's on base for the second time today, and that's how the bottom of the 7th will start for these American Giants. Now Max Bollock will now come up, try his hand against Tomets. As the American Giants started with the top of the order, so Walker is the leadoff man, not just for the inning, but for the game. There's the pitch. And that's a called strike. Was that the knees? Nothing in 1. Thomas with the hair popping out from underneath his cap. Here's the pitch. And that one's out. Throw down from Johnstone. They cannot get Walker. 1 ball, 1 strike. Who do you think has better hair on the team? Jake Thomas or Tyler Schultz? The count was actually 2-0. It was actually called ball. So 2-0. I know it's a tough question. Yeah, it's a tough one.
I think just the fact that we know that Schultz puts in so much work to his hair probably is Tyler.
Oh, so you're gonna give it to Schultz, even though that he goes and gets perms. I hate to take the cat out of the bag, but it's the truth. This one is a soft liner into right center field. It sinks right in for a hit. So a walk and a single started off for the American Giants. As Bollock hit this one towards the end of the bat and went right over the head of Colin Small. And the American Giants are cooking with no outs.
Got to be careful here if you're Tomets, because this game really isn't out of striking distance
No.
for the American Giants. It's only 4 runs. Even though it seemed pretty one-sided all game, they've been able to keep it within reach, as Corndogs still just a little bit struggling with getting their guys in from on base.
Thomas gets his sign. He's set at the belt. Here he comes. And that one is a called strike. Inside corner, top of the zone. And the manager of the American Giants was happy with the call. Nothing in 1. He's going to now take a walk over to his dugout. Try to take back what he just saw. There's a line shot in the right. And what a play by Gavin Terry. He'll throw it back in. But that's great awareness there. Also by Trey Walker, knowing that was going to be a tough play for Terry, with his momentum going to his left. So he tagged up and headed for third base. And there are going to be runners on the corners, but that is the definition of a line out to center field. As Gavin Terry, if he was a second slower and realizing where that ball was going to be hit, it most likely would have dropped. And with the way the wind's blowing, too, it must have held it up just long enough. Runner on the move. Johnson's going to hold on to it and let the runner take second base. That will go down as a defensive indifference for Bollock, as the Corndogs are up 5-1. So that run could come back to hurt them, but as of right now, the run doesn't really mean anything. Runners now on third and second for the American Giants for Aaron Barrera. But again, what a play by Terry to get over there, make the play, and throw it back in, and at least get the first out. And at this point, when you're up 4 runs, you're just playing for outs. The Corndogs are close to picking up a road win. Here's the pitch to Barrera. Slider that's out, and it's almost guaranteed that every time Thomas goes to the breaking ball, he goes to his hand and can't believe that it slipped out once again. May have to give him a rosin bag. The pitch. There's a strike. At least the fastball is located well. 1-2 to Barrera. Thomas wastes no time. He's going out of the windup now because there's runners on third and second. He fires, and this one will be served up and out of play. And Luigi Guerrero, it says he's out of baseballs. And Brock Bevel, who's over at first base, can't make the throw to Thomas, and he gives us a shrug. Had to make sure he heard us. 1-2, still to Barrera, who's got a good game today for these American Giants, battling through this extreme temperatures. Ground ball back up the middle. It'll sneak its way past Thomas into center field. They're going to send Bollock home. He'll trot in. 2-run score on the hit, and the lead has been cut in half. It's now 5-3 Corndogs. Nice swing of the bat from Barrera. He's now 2 for 4 and gets a pair of RBIs. And Walker and Bollock across the plate.
Thomas attempted to make the play there, but it was just a little bit too bouncy for him to be able to do anything with that. And Small and Schultz just playing a little bit too much of a gap there to be able to close in completely. But it was one of those situations where neither was quite sure the other could get it, so they both went for it, meaning that Giants were able to score 2 runs there.
Yeah, if that ball was hit any harder, I'm not sure if Bollock would have headed for home, but he hit the corner and really slowed down because he knew he was going to score easily, as Terry had not received the ball because it had taken a while to get to him. There's a strike. So after the 2 RBI single, Thomas takes a breath, knows he still has a 2-run lead to work with, and he fires in 2 strikes to the new hitter, George Naha, who's 0 for 3. He popped out in his last at-bat. That was against Thomas. Thomas gets the sign from Johnstone, and here's the pitch. And that's a good back foot slider. Johnstone can't locate the baseball, but he does eventually find it by where his feet were. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if we can look at scores from around the league. And if you're watching this game, we thank you for tuning in, and we're sorry that if the frame rate's a little slow on the broadcast. We are working off a iPhone hotspot in the middle of Chicago at the moment. Here's the pitch, and it's hit to the right field. There is Ferry, who makes the play, and there's 2 outs. Actually just completely lost that one in the sky, but I saw that Ferry was underneath it, and I think that's the first time Ferry's had any action out in right field today. And that's going to be the second out for the American Giants. We have the tying run at the plate in Nate Gazda.
I haven't said the names Jake Ferry or Scott Hansen too many times today.
No.
There was the one play Scott Hansen almost was able to come up with it.
Foul ball starts off this at-bat, 0-1. Try and see the scores around the league in the Northern League thus far, as the Oilmen had just gotten started about 20 minutes ago in Oil City, as they host the Generals for the second time in 2 weeks out in Whiting. The pitch is just down low. 1-1, try to backdoor Gazda. And the Vikings are, beating the Panthers 14-1. As they're getting red hot, it looks like. Pitch, and that one's inside. Generals and Oilmen are tied at 1 apiece, and of course the score here is 5-3 Corndogs, as the point streak is being scored by Noel Ferry. Credit to Noel. Learning that point streak, it's a difficult website, to say the least. Pitch from Thomas, and another one that misses. Has worked to 3-1 in favor of Gazda. But I can't believe that the Vikings are beating the Panthers 14-1. They have had a great day. They had a great day yesterday against the Corndogs. 3-1. This one is clobbered into left field, but it's going to go out of play. A nice swing of the bat from Gazda, but it'll go down as a long strike. He liked the pitch he saw, and there's a very good chance he won't get that one again. 3-2. Runner will be on the move on this pitch. And for Southland, they've scored 8 unanswered runs from the 6th to the 9th inning, and they're still batting in the top of the 9th inning as they're on the road. The pitch, and that's ball 4. Thomas off the mark right there. Extends the inning for another hitter, and the tying run is over at first base.
Yeah, you want to try to end this right now if you can. Already 2 runs scored. Tying run at first. You know, we've seen guys make some pretty decent contact here off of Thomas so far. He's gotten lucky so far.
There's a pitch that misses out, 1-0. And for the Crestwood Panthers, the Corndogs will see them for the first time tomorrow, so we're excited to see the final team that the Corndogs have not played thus far this season. And here comes the pitch from Thomas. And there's a slider that's down low as Thomas has lost his strike zone. O'Connor struck out looking his last at-bat against Thomas. And he's a go-ahead run at the moment in this bottom of the 7th inning. The offering is hit off to the left and out of play. It'll soar its way to some of the buildings to the left. 2-1 now. And for the Crestwood Panthers, they've lost the last 2 games. 4-0 against the American Giants. Pitch, and ball 3 now. 3-1. So if Thomas walks O'Connor here, bases will be loaded, and the tying run would be on second. The go-ahead at first. Thomas settles in and fires. It's hit into left. Hansen seems to have a play. He does. He makes it, and that's the third out, and a huge out for the Corndogs as Thomas beats O'Connor with the fastball. And through 7 innings of play, your score is the Corndogs 5 and the American Giants 3. And you're watching Corndogs baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. And when we come back, we'll be back with Noel Ferry.
Welcome back. 5-3 the score here. Lake County Corndogs still on top of the Chicago American Giants, but they're not going down without a fight. We saw 2 runs be scored by the Chicago American Giants in this past half inning. Boyle still on the mound for the Chicago American Giants. Jake Ferry up to bat. Here's a reminder that the University of Chicago is proud to be the exclusive medical partner of your Lake County Corndogs. U Chicago Medicine is a leading community of physicians, researchers, and game changers that make a difference in your life. U Chicago Medicine at the forefront. Despite the heat, this game, came alive a little bit. We saw both teams take off, score some more runs, and make it pretty exciting here in Chicago.
Yeah, it's been a good game, and a lot more drama in this game than it was at Legacy Field 2 days ago. I mean, it was 17-0. The Corndogs really cruised, and no, it looks like the American Giants made a substitution behind the plate. I have to go look at their roster to see who this is. This is Gino Cazillo that we saw in game on Sunday. He looks a little bit different when you're up close.
Yeah, definitely. And the Chicago American Giants have a decently large roster, larger than most of the other Northern League teams. They cycle through a lot of different players.
Yeah, if you go on the Point Streak where they have the official roster and they don't have a broadcaster, so they don't have an official scorer, there are some of the weirdest numbers I've seen. I thought maybe I stumbled upon the New York Giants roster because there was 96, 98, 72. I thought people were going to be playing left tackle and running back instead of center field and pitcher.
What numbers do long snappers wear? That's the 50s or 40s, isn't it?
Usually, throwaway numbers you never hear about. Probably the best job in football, being a long snapper.
Yeah. Jake Ferry, here comes his first. That's ball down low. Ferry thought about that one.
Remember we talked about with Kevin Malater when they had to play the American Giants, and of course he's with the Southland Vikings. He said there's a joke to be made there with the Giants and Vikings playing each other.
This seems like a matchup for October. So that one's fouled off to the left. Giants and Vikings. I'm trying to think if there's any significance between those two franchises in history.
I mean, considering they're the two oldest franchises in the NFC, they had to at some point, right?
Yeah. I know the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl despite making it a couple times. I'm not sure if there's a connection there. The 1-1, that one's hit maybe into the gap, but that's fielded by Leslie. Once again, a little bit shaky, and they got him at first. That was close from Marty Boyle with the tag there from Leslie, and Boyle comes up limping just a little bit from that play.
Good run from Boyle to get over there and make the play, and you're right. He's limping a little bit, and here comes his manager to talk to him.
Yeah, that's one thing you definitely don't want to see is any sort of injuries in a summer ball league like this. Guys are just out here trying to improve their game, trying to work on specific aspects of their game.
Yeah, they're gonna let him throw a couple pitches here and see if he's doing all right.
Can't quite tell exactly which foot it was. Ferry back up in the batter's box. This is Nicholas Johnstone. Comes his first. Thinks about it. He did not go on that. That's ball one.
I'm starting to hear some fireworks behind us, and I noticed that from Guaranteed Rate because the White Sox are in Detroit.
Guaranteed Rate. It's a very nice field, I have to say. Always see it heading down to Chicago. The 1-0 misses bottom right corner.
My favorite part about the White Sox Stadium is that it's been named 3 different names, but long enough for each generation of fans to call it something different.
Yes.
So, like, for the owner, Ralph Flores, he still called it Comiskey. You heard him call it Comiskey. We went out to lunch the other day.
Comes the 2-0. It's down in the dirt, ball 3.
And for me and you, we'll always remember as U.S. Cellular or the Cell. And now this next group of fans are just going to call it Guaranteed Rate. And that begs the question, what's going to be called the next time?
Well, when it first made the change, I was of the opinion that Guaranteed Rate didn't exactly roll off the tongue. But I have to say now, I've gotten used to it. That one's outside, ball 4 in 4 pitches. Johnstone makes his way to first.
And that's actually not the original Comiskey. That was Comiskey 2 or 3, I believe. As the original was on the other side, so it was flipped. But there's the home plate behind the new stadium of where the old one used to be. Is the Cub fan knowing that? I'm not quite sure.
So we're seeing a mound visit here for Marty Boyle. And that'll be the day for him. Reminder that each pitching change is brought to you by IBEW, Local 697, proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. And we'll be right back after this pitching change. Welcome back. After this pitching change, we see Gabe Cortez take the mound for the Chicago American Giants. Each pitching change brought to you by IBEW, Local 697, proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Donovan Nanfeld up to bat, one out here. Runners on first for the Corndogs, up 5-3. That one outside, bottom left corner. Nicholas Johnstone over at first, reached on a walk. That was the end of Marty Boyle's day, as you have to think that the ankle had something to do with that. The 1-0. That one inside just a little bit. 2-0. Nanfeld 1 for 3 on the day. Like Andrew was saying, started off pretty shaky. A pretty reliable first baseman, you could tell, but just wasn't getting the at-bats that he wanted. But he turned into a guy who can really swing it well. There goes Johnstone. The throw to second, and he is safe. A decent margin at that.
That was a great pitch to go on by Johnstone. It was a breaking ball, so he had a little bit extra time to get in there. And if it was a fastball, I think they would have gotten him, but it was beat by Johnstone to pick up a stolen base. And the Corndogs trying to manufacture an insurance run. They were up 4, and now they're only up 2, and it's a little bit of a tighter breath going for the rest of the game.
Top of the 8th here. Cortez gets a pitch he likes. 2-0 for Donovan Nanfeld. Johnstone taking a significant lead off second. Here comes the pitch. That one's fouled off to the left. Luckily for the players, we're seeing shade covering almost the entire field now, so they don't have to worry about standing in the sun anymore as the sun goes down. It's gotten significantly cooler here. Still keeping an eye on Johnstone over at second. The 2-1. It's outside, ball 3. Nanfeld not seeing anything he likes at the moment. A little bit slower of a windup and delivery from Gabe Cortez than some of the other pitchers today. Here comes the 3-1. And that's hit right towards him. Is that going to make it into the gap? And that's fielded, but no play. Nanfeld reaches on a single and drives Nicholas Johnstone over to third.
You know what the game changer for Nanfeld has been, and what I'm starting to notice with him, is that he is working up the middle. And that's the biggest part of the infield. And I think that all stemmed from that big 2 RBI single that he had against Carroll Stream, up in Carroll Streams against Joliet. He picked up 2 RBIs with one swing with a ground ball like that up the middle. And big shout out to Gaza over at short. He kept that ball on the infield and didn't allow Johnson to score from second base.
That brings up Colin Small, 2 for 3 on the day. Here's his first. That's down in the dirt. Great play there by Gino Gazzio to backhand that one and keep it there, as that most likely would have scored Nicholas Johnstone from third. Small knows what he's good at, and he's shown that today. Reaching on a bunt and a double. Wasn't hit too hard, not as hard as some of the other balls we've seen today. That catches bottom left corner. One and one. That's way inside. That's hit Colin Small, and bases loaded for the Corndogs back up at the top of the rotation with Donovan Noble coming up. And last time we saw Colin Small get hit by a pitch, well, technically not get hit by a pitch, was in that crucial final inning against the, I believe that was the Southland Vikings, where they were able to get the victory off of a bases loaded walk-off walk. And Small started off that inning with what looked like a hit by pitch, but ump called it a hit off the knob of the bat and then hit Small. Small was in a decent amount of pain. His first one to Noble. It's inside, ball 1.
Yeah.
And on the very next at-bat, Well, on the very next pitch, Small lays down the bunt and makes his way to first.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal bunt. Really started to rally for the Corndogs for them to win that game after being down 3-0.
The 1-0 inside once again. 2-0, bases loaded.
And the best part about it, too, is that I want to say the next 3 or 4 games where Colin Small was at, he had to wear tape on that wrist to really prove that he did get hit there.
There's a big argument from Heisman in the home plate ump that night. The 2-0 up too high, 3-0, and got to be careful here if you're Gabe Cortez. You do not want to give them these free walks when this game is so close for you. You've got 2 half innings to be able to try to go ahead and potentially win this game at home, but 3-0 here for Donovan Noble. Here it comes, and that's strike 1 called. That was good. That did, in fact, clip the top of the zone. You could definitely see that there. But that's a good take from Noble.
Yeah, Cortez has a lot of run on his fastball. Looks like he's throwing either a 2-seamer or a sinker. And it's just getting too much run, sometimes inside, but that time he was able to backdoor Noble and get the strike.
We'll see 3-1. Here it comes. That one's crushed into left by Noble, and that'll score 2. Here comes Donovan Nanfeld, and he is safe. 2 more for the Corndogs.
That's a great swing of the bat from Donovan Noble. He wanted to hit there. He sees a nice pitch, drives it in the left, and he picks up 2 more RBIs. He now has 4 RBIs on the day, on 3 for 4 day in 1 run scored.
Well, and Nanfeld, I like the drive there. He was rounding third with a lot of speed built up, and not necessarily the fastest player on the team, but he was able to get in. Speaking of fastest player, he's over at second. Gavin Terry takes inside for ball 1. Runners at first and second. Yeah, Noble having a great game today. With 3 singles, a sac fly. Terry 2 for 4. Runners on first and second. 7-3 the score now. Up too high for, strike 2. Strike 1, that is. Terry very confused on that one. That was a late call there. Terry's been having his differences with the home plate ump tonight a couple times. One and one. Here it comes. That one's hit foul, potentially playable. That one falls foul. So, Andrew, we've seen each field now for each team away. Other than Lake County, of course, what would you say is your favorite stadium you've been to in the Northern League?
Oh, thus far?
Yes.
Dowling's it's pretty nice. I've always liked Dowling because it's close to home. This one's really nice. I really like the Chicago atmosphere. I like hearing the city sounds. But you have to go with Oil City. Oil City's, its own stadium. You can see the oil refinery right across the lake that they have right there. It's a beautiful stadium at night.
1-1 for Terry. Here it comes. That one's hit down the first base side, and there's an out, but not before Donovan Noble and Colin Small advance to second and third.
It was a good swing of the bat from Terry. Just happened to find the first baseman there, and it would be a 3 unassisted, but now you move up 2 runners, and this is going to set up a big at-bat for Tyler Schultz. He may be able to extend this lead to 6 runs and maybe put the nail in the coffin.
Schultz 2 for 4 today. Starting off the game with 2 strikeouts, but 2 singles to follow it off, so he's on a little bit of a hot streak right now. We'll see if he can keep that going here. One of the better hitters for the Corndogs. Here's his first. That one's up over the head. Here comes Small. There's going to be a play at the plate, but no, Small is safe.
Yeah, it looked like a cross-up right there. Gazio didn't expect that to be a fastball right there, and it sailed over his head, and Small, with a great awareness, was able to cross the plate for the 3rd time today.
That makes it 8-3, and with that, Corndogs go up by 5, and it looks like it might be out of reach of the Chicago American Giants, but I won't say anything yet.
We've seen a larger comeback before.
The 1-0. That one catches bottom left. Strike one. Donovan Noble has definitely made a strong case for him being Macron player of the game today. So we're seeing a great tweet from Andrew just now. That one's way outside, ball two.
Well, I had to somehow incorporate Spider-Man since we talked about him, and able to incorporate 2 Donovan ends in one tweet. I'd say it might be these two right there might be my best work.
I'm liking the creativity so far.
Thanks.
You're definitely on your own hot streak today.
There we go.
Tyler Schultz, 2 straight singles. Andrew Mild, 2 straight fire tweets. 2-1 here for Schultz. Here it comes. Big swing and a miss, but that one's fouled straight back.
And the sun's starting to set, and there's no lights at this field, so we have to still play 2 complete innings.
This one, we've seen already a game get called due to darkness. That might be the case here today if these innings don't end quickly, but up 5 runs. 2 outs here, top of the 8th. Here comes the 2-2. Outside, strike 3 called on Tyler Schultz, and he smiles as he heads back on that one. He thought that was outside, but that'll end the inning here, but not before the Corndogs grab a couple more, making it an 8-3 ball game heading into the bottom of the 8th. We will be right back after this on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Eight to 3 your score here in Chicago, Illinois. Chicago American Giants tried to put together a little comeback on the Lake County Corndogs, but they silenced that in the top of the 8th. 8-3. Mark Torr at the mound. Strike 1 called on Zach Leslie. And a reminder that every pitching change is brought to you by IBEW Local 697, proud partner of the Lake County Corndogs. Checked swing by Leslie. So that one's up top. Haven't seen Torr too much this season.
He made a nice appearance against the Oilmen. He pitched 2 innings and allowed 1 run. And that was about it. Other than that, he has a good curveball and a mean fastball.
The 1-1. That one's hit into left. Noble is picked up by Schultz. He's going to try to make the play, but the throw is off to Loden, has to come off the bag. And that's going to be a single for Zach Leslie.
Nothing you can do there if you're Tyler Schultz. You did everything right. It's just a tough play, and you have to give a single to Leslie there. Especially considering he bruised his shin not too long ago.
Yes. First baseman for the Chicago American Giants today. That brings up Michael Johnson. That one's way up. Ball 1. And we're starting to see the roster be almost completely full now for the Corndogs, with everyone having been on the team and made an appearance. That one's up top once again, 2-0. Some players we hadn't seen. Jorge Santos, Connor Pangburn, both showed out in their first appearances for the Corndogs, with Connor Pangburn setting a record the other night with 10 strikeouts. That one's right down middle of the plate, 2-1. And Jorge Santos coming in the 13-0 victory against the Southland Vikings. That was not 13-0. Can't exactly. That was 13-0. Yeah, in the combined no-hitter, he ended out that game. That one's down low. Ball 3.
Yeah, that was Burke, Bassa, and Santos. The Triple J's. It was Jorge, Jacob, and James.
Runner up first here. 3-1 for Mark Torr. Strike 2 called. Torr goes back to the fastball. Don't want to get too ahead of yourself here if you're Torr, and let the Chicago American Giants get some guys on base, because they haven't been struggling to really get hits today. They've been leaving a lot of guys on base. Big swing and a miss as Johnson reached out for that one. Torr gets his first strikeout of the day.
That's now 9 strikeouts on the day for the Lake County Corndogs. Take the kind of day that Bobby Spencer had, he had 9 altogether for the American Giants. As he pitched a phenomenal game, but unfortunately for him, he's on line for the loss if this lead continues.
Comes first pitch to Trey Walker, and that one's popped up.
I got it.
Back into the stands.
I got it. No, I don't.
Would have had to pull a Gavin Terry there if you wanted to catch that one. Show off the speed and maybe try to make the dive. 0-1 to Trey Walker. Don't think we're going to see too much of an attempt from Leslie to steal. Another big swing and a miss from Trey Walker as he could not catch up to the fastball. Leslie taking a decent lead for a guy who got pegged by a baseball earlier, and that one's breaking ball straight into the dirt. But Leslie stays 1-2. Johnstone hasn't had too much of an active day today. We've seen a couple games in the past for the Corndogs where the catchers had to get down and dirty all over the place, but pretty controlled pitching from the Corndogs today, and not too many wild pitches to speak of. The 1-2, that one's crushed into left, but there goes Scott Hansen. He's underneath it, and that's out as Leslie returns to first. Brings up Max Bullock. The Chicago American Giants are running out of outs here. Only 4 left on the game to make up those 5 runs.
I was like, now with the sun setting, what a beautiful day it's turned out to be today. It's been fun.
And now we're sitting at 95, it says, but I don't think so. Big swing and a miss from Bullock there. Definitely feels a lot cooler than 95 degrees.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say about the time, because we're about to approach 3 hours of play today. Start at 5:10, it's 8:08.
One of the longer games recently. That one's hit into center once again. Not playable by Tyler Schultz or Gavin Terry, so that'll advance runners to first and second.
You remember, I know I'm thinking about this, the more that we talked about batting average with Terry, I do remember seeing an M. Bullock towards the top of the batting average race towards the beginning of the season, but hadn't really seen much. And now that I'm thinking about it, That's him over at first base, Max Bollock, who is now 2 for 4 on the day. He's picked up hits in the 7th and 8th inning, and you see right there, nice, quick swing, work right back up the middle, and get the hit. Looks like Gino Gazillo is going to come up now for the Chicago American Giants in Gene Gonzalez's spot. Here's the pitch to him. He swings and misses that one in the dirt. Runners on first and second after the hit from Bollock. Had a nice couple of at-bats in the last 2 innings. His team's down 5 runs. Corndogs trying to pick up their 11th win on the season. Here's the pitch. And another one that's down low. It's 2-1 to Gazillo in his first at-bat today. Gazillo is batting in the 3-hole for Gonzalez now. He's catching. Here's the pitch, and there's the swing and the miss. Count even that at 2-2 with 2 outs. So deuces all across the board. Corndogs up 5 runs as they try to pick up a road win here and try to head back home to Legacy Field tomorrow to meet the Crestwood Panthers for the first time as a franchise and on the season. Choke up on the bat is Gazillo, the pitch, and they get him. Strike 3 as there's a swing and a miss. Tor catches the baseball, places it on the mound, and ends the inning as we head to the top of the 9th inning with the Corndogs leading this game by a 5-run cushion. It's been a fun one. We thank you for listening, and we hope to see you for one more inning. You're watching Corndogs Baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back. 8-3 the score here. Lake County Corndogs on top of the Chicago American Giants. Don't know what I was trying to say there. But I'm Noel Ferry, handing it off to Andrew Mount for the play-by-play.
All right, thanks, Noel. And we have finally reached the 9th inning. As it's been a long game, 3 hours and 3 minutes as of right now, as Corndogs will come with the heart of the order, and Hanson, Loden, and Ferry. They're due up in this inning. And Hanson skies one to right field on the first pitch. O'Connor is camped, and he makes the play. One pitch and a fly out to right field. And we're hoping that the rest of that game goes just as quick as that at bat. There's one out. Here comes Loden. Loden is 0 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch. There's finally some good news for Cub fans. They're up 4-0 on the Padres. I have to check on what the White Sox are doing. I think they were up 4-2 on Detroit. Pitch to Loden, and Loden just missed that one. He knows it. Hit it off to the left, 0-1. And so is the case for the White Sox. They're up 4-1 in Detroit tonight. They're up north in Comerica Park in the Motor City. We're in the Windy City. Now, no, the nickname doesn't come from the gusts of wind that they have here. Here's a pitch to Loden, and that one is out. But usually because of the politicians, as they said, I think it was like way back around the 30s, is that the politicians were full of hot air. So that's where that came from. Cortez is ready to go, and he rocks and fires. And that's a slider that goes just below the knees of Doug Loden. And the count is now 2-1. It's all shade now. Just the little bit of sunshine. We're still getting in the ballpark, doing all the work right now. And this final inning of play between these two teams, the Corndogs and the American Giants, and the pitch is down and in, 3-1. As we'll have a drive home after this. And then, as mentioned, tomorrow's a home game. First pitch is at 7 against Crestwood. The gates will open at 5:30 at Legacy Fields at 851 Center Ross Road, or you can get the address off the Corndogs website. And ball 4 to Doug Loden. That's the third unofficial at bat for Doug Loden today. He's been on board 3 times. And Jake Ferry will now come up. And then on Thursday, the Corndogs will be on the road again against the Oilmen before concluding this long stretch of baseball games back at home at Legacy Field on Friday against the Oilmen. So back-to-back games against the arch rivals that are the Oilmen from Whiting, Indiana. This kicks off the lane with Cazillo. Doug Loden will move up to second base on the wild pitch, and he'll stop there, standing up. Now Ferry has a runner in scoring position with the team up 5. Maybe tack on another insurance run getting late into this game.
I don't know if you'd call that an insurance run. I think you'd call that oh, man. My brain is fried today from the heat. I did not know.
Not only does the heat fry laptops and mixer boards and pitch and called strike, but also Noel's brain. It's all right, Noel. Not even on hot days, my brain's usually fried, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm taking an exam, it never goes well because of that. It's too much studying, I'm telling you. Cortez has a runner over at second, takes a look at him. Here's the pitch. Ferry hits the top of that baseball, and then it hits off the catcher's legs, and then it went on the shoulder of Ferry and worked its way down. And your count was 1-2. The Corndogs, if they win this game, they pick up 11 wins. And the Panthers most likely drop their game against the Vikings today, unless miraculously they scored 14 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Corndogs would extend another game up into first place. I have to check the standings at the end of the night to kind of see how the Northern League's shaking out. And that one is inside, and it's a ball. Looked like a slider from Cortez. He's had a good 2-seamer and a slider, trying to get them to look the same out of the hand, but then do completely different things. The 2-seamer run away from Ferry here. The slider will run in on him. Gets the sign from Cazillo. Cortez lifts his leg, and here he comes. And that's called strike 3. And Ferry, not happy, goes back to his dugout.
Yeah, Jake Ferry on the day. 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, 2 strikeouts for Ferry on the day. It's not been a fun one for him. And that will send up Nicholas Johnstone. John back in the 6th inning to score a run. And then in the 8th, he scored off the hit from Donovan Danfield. Pitch to the lefty. Runs in as he backs out of the way. Turned his shoulder away from that one. 1 ball, no strikes Runner on second, 2 outs. Corndogs up the 5 runs. It's been a comfortable one. As they have not trailed, they jumped out to the 1-0 lead, and then the American Giants were able to cut it from 2-0 to 2-1, and it was like that through a few innings until the Corndogs have really broken through in these back half of this game. That's another great take from Johnstone. And it's been the 5th and 6th where they scored 2 runs in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and then 3 in the 8th. It really has been the difference maker in this game where the Corndogs have been able to distance themselves away from these American Giants. But they've played another great game, hard fought against the Corndogs. Pitch, and another one almost hits Johnston as he screams towards his dugout. It was a playful yell, I think. I've been a little terrified. The count is 3 balls and no strikes, I believe, to Johnstone. They're trying to hurry this game along as it's getting darker and darker. And again, this field has no lights. The only lights we're going to have are the street lights that are across the street right now. Cortez takes a breath and he pitches. Johnstone swings and lifts it out of play. The sun is setting. We're still playing baseball at Illinois Tech on the south side of Chicago. Some would say the better side of Chicago, considering what your fandom is. Johnstone with the red bat. It's taped white handle. He's slightly moving it behind his head, and the pitch is ball 4 to Johnstone as it stayed up. There's a second walk this inning. The inning will further go, and Donovan Nanfield will be the benefactor of that walk as he'll get another chance to get a plate appearance. Is on this day, he is 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. As he also had a nice double into right center field. Went with the pitch, drove it out that way. One of the harder hit balls we've seen on the day. Here it comes to Nanfelt, and it's bouncing everywhere. It gets away from the catcher. Loden and Johnstone go into scoring position now. So not only does Donovan Nanfelt benefactor of getting another plate appearance, but he'll get the benefit of having 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. So if he does get a base hit, there's a good chance he'll pick up 2 RBIs. As Nanfelt just a few games ago had a game where he picked up 4 RBIs. I want to say it was at, trying to see which game that was, and that's down and away. He had won the player of the game, and here it is. It was the 13-6 win against the Southland Vikings when he did that. We've played the Southland Vikings so many times, I kind of forgot about 13-6. That was game number 5 between the Corndogs and the Vikings this season. Pitch Nanfelt is in tight. Donovan Nanfelt backs off the plate. 3-0's the count. So the Corndogs and Vikings have played 6 times, 5 times in this month alone, and they'll play 1 more time next week. And I don't think they play each other too many times in July. 3-0. Fouled straight back, and he got me the flinch.
That one was about as straight on as they
Yeah,
come.
that was. That really was. I usually am not the one to flinch, but that one was close. And they're gonna call this game. Heisman and the manager of the American Giants say that they want to end the game right here. It's getting too dark. And with that, the Corndogs are going to win. Our Macron player of the game is going to go to Donovan Noble, 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run scored. Final score is the Corndogs 8, the Chicago American Giants 3. And that will do it here. The Corndogs move to 11-5 on the year and continue to be in first place in the Northern League. We hope to see you tomorrow for first pitch at 7 o'clock between the Corndogs and the Crestwood Panthers. That's going to do it here from the south side of Chicago. For Noel Ferry, I'm Andrew Mild. We hope to hear from you again as we had a fun night here. We hope to have more fun nights ahead of us.